Welcome to Crushing Kayfabe. My name is Jason Garish. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kind of want to start today's show off addressing the controversial comments that Jordynne Grace made on her Twitter page. She tweeted about Chris Benoit and saying that he pretty much couldn't hold a candle to some of the current wrestlers and that he would forget his moves in the ring and whatnot. Really lost a lot of respect for Jordynne Grace after this whole incident. I had liked her previous to this, and seeing this kind of made me put things in a new light. I'm really not a fan of hers anymore. Whether or not you liked Chris Benoit, or whether or not, obviously, what he did was horrendous. I mean, the murder-suicide was absolutely horrific. But up until that point, I grew up watching Chris Benoit. I was a huge Chris Benoit fan, and I'll openly admit to that because him as a wrestler does not reflect who he was as a human being and what he eventually did. From a technical standpoint, Chris Benoit was incredible. One of the best wrestlers ever to lace his boots up. To discount that is being dishonest, is being disingenuous. To discount that because of his actions outside of wrestling and what he eventually did. What he did outside of the ring was horrible. Was horrific. Was just god-awful, disgusting. As far as the murder of his son and wife and then suicide of himself was horrific. I can't even find the words right now to describe it. It was horrible. Because I remember being a fan of his and finding this out when it occurred. I remember watching the tribute show live. I remember watching the events slowly unveil and uncover themselves in real time, and being, as a fan, being horrified by what happened. But having said that, I'm not going to lie and rewrite history and say that he was a horrible wrestler. He was not. He was one of the best ever. And will he be in the Hall of Fame? I really hope not. Well, I mean, history obviously views him in a different light now because of what he's done. I'd like to address some of this event on another show just because I think it deserves to have an entire show devoted to not only the Chris Benoit incident, but the effects of CTE on wrestlers and professional athletes, because it's something that needs to be addressed. Was it a combination of CTE and steroids? Quite possibly. And he was using a lot of steroids at the time. I mean, the problem with steroids is once you start abusing them, you can basically never get off of them because they become testosterone replacement. Your body can no longer produce natural testosterone at that point once you've abused them to such a point that Benoit did. The professional bodybuilders, wrestlers are finding this out after they discontinue the sport. Once you stop competing, once you stop working out, whatnot, you still need to take them as testosterone replacement. So, obviously not at the extremely high doses that some of these individuals did that ended up destroying their lives. But I mean, like I said, I'll get into a whole other show at some other point because I think it's something that needs to be addressed. It's a very, very important topic, at least to me. I mean, bodybuilders such as Lee Haney, Ryan Coleman, have come out in the past on interviews and admitted to steroid usage, and the way that they did it legally was by basically getting a doctor's note, by getting prescribed testosterone. Is pretty much how they were able to get by that whole clause within their ability to compete. And I don't want to get too far from the topic, but but those individuals now have to take it for the rest of their life. And someone like Chris Benoit, who Chris Benoit obviously abused them to the point where he was going to have to do that. And once you get to a certain point and you combine that steroid usage with CTE, I think, is when you already have existing mental illness, is a cocktail for absolute disaster and death. And but having said that, that doesn't excuse his actions. It doesn't forgive his actions. It doesn't justify his actions. What he did was reprehensible. But to discount him as a wrestler and to discount his body of work, I think is not admissible either, because I think that's rewriting history at that point. I don't think that's a fair thing to do, and I don't think it's an honest thing to do, because anyone who watches his matches can tell he was technically one of the best and just an absolutely incredible wrestler. I mean, some of the matches that he had with Kurt Angle are some of my favorite of all time, and to say that they weren't would be disingenuous. You know, do I forgive or endorse his actions outside of the ring? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They were reprehensible, and they were disgusting, and the fact that he was never punished for those actions is a sad and regrettable thing. But to have the comments that Jordynne Grace made regarding those that absolutely discounted his technical ability, saying that the current wrestlers are much more technically better, is basically what she said, and that he would not be able to hang with them, is an absolute lie and absolute falsehood. And to have her come out and say that, it comes off as being calculated. And that bothers me a lot, because it looks like she's using a tragedy to further her own popularity and to gain notoriety throughout social media. And that bothers me a lot, and that makes me lose a lot of respect for this woman. I hope that's not the case, but I'm almost willing to bet that it was, because her actions came off as very, very calculated. This tweet came out, which, why come out with this tweet at this point in time? It's unnecessary. It didn't need to be said, and because of that, it comes off as being strategic and calculated, and that bothers me a lot. Using someone's death and a horrific tragedy to further your own financial livelihood and to further your own agenda and popularity, I think is really a really disgusting thing to do. So the fact that she did this, and later on, you know, she got reprimanded from Gail Kim. She got, I think, Chris Jericho, if not mistaken, had made some comments regarding this, you know, and obviously that's someone who had known Chris Jericho personally, you know, and I mean, not Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, sorry, personally. So he has a right to comment on the affair, and he has a right to have an opinion, and his opinion holds a lot more credit than a lot of people do. The fact that she would use this incident to further her own gain is really eerie, disgusting, macabre, and sick. And I lost a ton of respect for this woman because of those comments. And yeah, like I said, I was a fan of hers up until this point, and that really has made me rethink things and see this person in a whole different light. You know, even makes me look at Gresham, her husband, kind of differently. I just watched him defend his title on AEW. It kind of makes me look at him and think, what does he think of these matters? You know, does he agree with his wife? Kind of thing. You know, it's really, like I said, I think a lot of people probably came to her and said, hey, you'd better stop it, and come out with some kind of either apology or something making amends with this, because it was poorly thought out. I shouldn't say it was poorly thought out. It was probably very well thought out and very cold-hearted and evil. You know, I'm sorry. You know, but that was a mistake on her part, I think. Even though but the sad thing is, now following those comments, she's amassed more followers. She's been exposed to more people. She's got recognition from some very top names in in sports, the wrestling industry, I should say. So bravo, you accomplished your goal. Is it something to be proud of? No, it's not. And, shame on you for doing so. Not a good look for Jordynne Grace. I'm sorry. Like I said, I lost a lot of respect for that woman following this. And even, if I remember correctly, I think, someone commented regarding, wow, I can't even think straight, but there are, I should say, let me backtrack a little bit. She did reach out to David Benoit and talk to him, and once again, that feels calculated. It stinks of a cruel publicity stunt, and really sickening, and it kind of besmirches the memory in some ways of Nancy Benoit too. And I hate to belittle. I can't belittle, I should say. It really, because of this tragedy, she hasn't gotten the respect that she deserves as being a trailblazer within the industry of wrestling, and she deserves a lot more respect, a lot more recognition, and than she gets. And I think because of this controversy, she kind of gets overlooked, but she shouldn't. She was doing a lot of things way before a lot of the other divas and whatnot. So the whole thing kind of besmirches her legacy too, and I hate that, because there's someone that you could make the argument that Nancy Benoit actually belongs in the Hall of Fame. So that doesn't bode well for that, and I don't appreciate that. So once again, I'm going to stop talking about this tweet and move on to bigger and better things, thankfully. But wow, that one really upset me, and I didn't appreciate Jordynne's comments on that. Which I said, I was a fan of hers previous to that, and I'm not sure I want to be anymore. Yeah. But aside from that, let's see. Raw felt like kind of a transitional show. Really, not a whole lot going on. They're really kind of a blink and you miss it kind of show. Not really a whole lot going on there. You can probably hear my son barking in the background. I don't know if you can or can't, but the joys of having a toddler. But yeah, not a whole lot going on Raw. Like I said, no real substantial matches, nothing really, just kind of a transitional show that kind of furthering some storylines along. As far as AEW, we have Fyter Fest, which is still going on this week. It went on Wednesday on Dynamite and on Friday with Rampage. So we're continuing the Fyter Fest thing. New tag champs. Big deal there, obviously. Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee got the titles. I would have preferred it had been Ricky Stokes and wow, I am drawing a complete blank. I am so sorry, but I would really I'm glad to see it off of the Young Bucks, because I really can't stand them as champs, and I'm really happy to see it off of them, which is great. But see, I'm still rallied from that whole Jordynne Grace comment kind of thing. I'm still got my brain on that right now. Sorry, but did I say Ricky Stokes? Wow, Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. I would have much rather seen it on them. That I think they would have benefited a lot more from it, and I think they would have been good champions, and I think that would have been a great thing to build up Powerhouse Hobbs and Starks to the level that they deserve and belong at, and I think they would have made great tag team champions. The whole Swerve thing, Keith Lee, I like them. I love Keith Lee. I've grown to like Swerve a lot, so I don't mind the belts being on them. I'd much rather have it on them than the Young Bucks. But But, it is what it is. I think they made a booking error with that, and we'll see where they take that along. But I'm just happy to have it off the Young Bucks, because I couldn't stand them as champs. And anything that gets the Young Bucks off my television, I'm all in favor of. We had, I almost forgot, Wardlow defend his title against Orange Cassidy. It was a fun match. I mean, it wasn't really, it should have never lasted this long, though. They're trying to build up Cassidy as someone who is a great wrestler, and he's a good wrestler, but he's a mid-carder at best, and he's a comedy act. I'm a fan of his. I enjoy his work. I think he's highly entertaining, but man, they need to, if they're putting him in the ring with Wardlow needs to finish him off in like 30 seconds, if that, and they should have done that, and I think they might have made a booking error there. Jericho and Eddie Kingston promo we had, which was good. Eddie Kingston does amazing promos. He's one of the best in the business. What a great promo he cuts. And so we had Mox as still the interim champion. Not a whole lot else to mention, really. I mean, Rampage was fun, actually. I enjoyed watching it. It was a continuation of Fyter Fest. We got the House of Black versus the Dark Order, which anytime I get to watch House of Black is awesome. I enjoyed it. I like to see a feud between large factions like that. And then when it ended and they're going back to the locker room, we had Darby Allin jump Brody King, and we had a stare down between Malachi Black and Sting, which was pretty tense, pretty good. I got my stoked up. I'd like to see maybe these guys team up with the Dark Order. I don't know. I mean, it looked good. And, obviously, there's been a feud between Darby Allin and Brody King, which they've been doing outside of things and outside of television and whatnot, and shooting some good stuff with that. But this should be fun. I'm hoping they kind of involve Dark Order. I don't know, some bizarre reason. The weird thing, though, I have noticed is I haven't seen Buddy Murphy in a couple of weeks. What's going on with him? I hope that he's still in the House of Black. I'm hoping. I would hate to see him get kind of written off television. That would make me sad. But I didn't see Buddy Murphy at all. And see what else we had. We had more of an emphasis on the Ring of Honor guys. Obviously, they've got a pay-per-view coming up. Gresham retains against Moriarty. Good wrestler. I got no problem with this guy. He's so small, it makes it unbelievable sometimes when he's in the ring because he's just flying around there. And like I said, the guy's a great wrestler, but his size really distracts me, and that kind of bothers me. I like what they're doing with the whole with him and the faction with Tully Blanchard, though. I like the faction they're building up there. I think that's going to be fun. He cut a good promo after that with Tully and everything, and that was fun. We also had a promo with the Gun Club and Billy Gunn, which brought the Acclaim out there. They're furthering this feud. I'm really enjoying this. I think this is going to be fun. This has Billy Gunn markings all over it, and I'm really happy to see that. I'm hoping that this turns out to be really good, because Acclaim is hot right now. They're over right now. They're getting a really good crowd reaction, and the timing was right to turn them babyface, and they did it beautifully. The whole thing with Billy Gunn turning on the Acclaim, first turning on his sons and then turning on the Acclaim, I thought was really well done. Like I said, that reeks of Billy Gunn. That reeks of somebody who's been involved in some great angles throughout the years, with WWE and whatnot. So that was well done. I enjoyed that. Looking forward to Fyter Fest continuing this week. We'll see what Raw brings us tonight, but we'll see, man. And aside from that, that's about all I have to cover for today. Like to before I get too involved with the shout-outs. I'd like to talk about TIWF. They're having a show this Saturday, like they have every Saturday night, but this one's going to be a Wrestle for the Cause. This is going to be a night of professional wrestling and auctions. So in addition to wrestling, they're going to have auctions, and all of it is going to benefit the family of Guinevere Hope Miller in her memory and honor. So Saturday, July 23rd, at entrance fee is $5 at the door. The proceeds will be donated to the family. So the doors open at 5:30. It's at the TIWF Sportsplex at 405 West 1st Street in Trenton, Tennessee. So yeah, if you're interested in going down, please do. If you're in the Trenton area, if you're in the West Tennessee area, please do. You know, they would love to have donations. If you can't make the show, you know, contact Randy Bird at 731-780-9068. Once again, contact Randy at 731-780-9068. Hope I said that correctly, but yeah, if you can go down, TIWF always puts on a great show, and for $5, it's one of the best values around. You can't argue with that, and with the proceeds going to a great cause, I strongly encourage everyone to go check it out. You know, I might be down there, I might not, I'm not sure. I have plans to, but, you know, things change, obviously, but I'm going to try my best to see if we can get the family down there. But please, I'm encouraging everyone who listens to this, please, go down there and check them out. Once again, that's TIWF, Wrestle for the Cause, Saturday, July 23rd. Entrance fee is $5 at the door, and all proceeds will be donated to the family. So, the doors open at 5:30. Go down there and check it out this Saturday and have a good time. Like I said, they always put on a great show. It's always worthwhile, I should say. So, in addition to that, let's give a shout out to, let's start off things with my wife's business, Hooked by Jenna Lynn. Check her out on Facebook, Hooked by Jenna Lynn, and you can check out some of her artwork and handmade goods. And while you're checking that stuff out, if you like something on there, you can purchase some of the stuff at a couple of different places. One was Then and Now Flea Market in Trenton, Tennessee. It's downtown Trenton, Tennessee. Then and Now Flea Market. You can purchase some of my wife's homemade goods, and you can purchase one of my CDs, and just check out some local vendors. They have some great stuff there, some great handmade items, some used items, some new items, just a variety of different things that you can pick up, and check them out. Then and Now Flea Market, downtown Trenton, Tennessee, right in the square. You can't miss it. And I had said there were a couple places that she has our goods, and the other one is Peggy's Flea Market or Peggy's Attic, I should say, in Milan. So check that out in Milan, Tennessee. Peggy's Attic, check them out, and you can get some more handmade goods from my wife and buy some goods from us. Check us out. We have a booth there, and once again, some variety different vendors there with different things to sell. So check that out, Peggy's Attic in Milan, Tennessee. And while you're at it, check out Lucky Lady Candles. Check them out on Facebook and Etsy. It's always a good time to buy candles, so check them out. Lucky Lady Candles. They're handmade candles. And while I'm at it, hey, check us out at crushingkayfabe.com. Crushing with a K. Crushingkayfabe.com. And from there, you can get links to all of our social media sites. You can go to our Patreon page from there, actually, or you can go right to patreon.com and do a search for Crushing Kayfabe, Crushing with a K. And for just $1 a month, you can get all of our shows, all of our audio for ad-free. So you can listen to the shows, you can support us, help keep the lights on, help keep the show going for just $1 a month. And it'll be an ad-free experience on patreon.com. So you can become a patron of the show. Before I forget, help out the Ukrainians. Don't forget about them. Keep sending money to UNICEF, to Red Cross, in order to get to the Ukraine, because they're still struggling there. Obviously, they're still under an occupation from Russia, and hopefully, I shouldn't say an occupation because I don't think it's yet become to that point technically, but they're being invaded by Russia, obviously. So they need food, they need supplies, they need help. Please help them out. Send your support to them, send your love and prayers to them, the Ukrainian people. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. God bless everybody. Once again, check us out, on patreon.com. Check us out on our Facebook page, our website, and send some love and support. And thank you so much for tuning in. God bless.